Hi, welcome to the latest video in the Irish Ancestors series. Today I'm going to be talking a bit more about reverse genealogy, about finding living ancestors, some of the techniques and some of the tools. Basically, in the previous one in this series, I went through a single case study, but inevitably I left out some of the most important records that you'd be using in other cases. So the ones that are important are the Valuation Office revision books. Those are the revisions of Griffith's valuation. The way they interact then with the General Register Office birth, marriage, and death records, the census records, the will records, and the way you jump back and forth. You use siblings to find marriages of siblings and children of siblings. You use the censuses to see if they're still there in 1901, 1911, and so on and so forth. You go back and forth between these records. Then there are records that are similar to Valuation Office revision books in that they're sort of time-lapse records. They give you a staggered view of a particular area or particular family over a period of time. And those are particularly voters' records. They start really to cover a large number of the population from the 1870s, and they're universal from about 1919 on. And those are very, very important. Another time-lapse type record are urban street directories, where they give who is at which address, what year, and you can follow them through the years and see how they change. The next one is Irish newspaper records, particularly death notices, which is a peculiarly Irish thing. It's not an obituary, it's an announcement about the funeral. And they are ubiquitous in Ireland now, and they can contain lots of really useful information. And finally, there is DNA. So many Irish people migrated to North America that there is an awful lot of Irish DNA that has already been sequenced, and where there are family trees online. So it's a very good tool for going around the back of the house, as it were, and finding the living relatives. Okay, so that's a complete overview. I'm not going to go through all of those today because life is too short. What I'm going to do today is talk about the Valuation Office revision books and show you how they work. Okay. So let's go to the site and we'll start work on that. Here we are at the site. Now, what I'm going to do is pick a place and a person in that place in Griffiths, and then follow them forward in the Valuation Office records. So let's pick a place. Again, civil parishes. The valuation is dependent entirely on civil parishes. Well, I'm going to pick Armagh for a particular reason. The reason I'm picking it is that the valuation books that are online are the ones for the 6 counties of Northern Ireland. So they show how the whole system works. It's an identical system for the Republic as well. But this gives me the opportunity to go straight through. So let's pick the wonderful parish of Forkhill in South Armagh. And let's pick a nice conspicuous place name, Carrickastickin. There you are. There's Carrickastickin. If you click on that, just to remind you, you get taken to the listing for the place name on Ask About Ireland with the occupants there. So we click that, you get the occupants. And here you can go to the map, you can go to the original page. It's always worthwhile. Let's go to the original page. And there's Carrickastickin. And let's pick somebody who's medium sized. Somebody there's on 6 acres, bottom of the page, Owen Carroll, okay, who's the valuation of £4, 5 shillings a year. The thing to keep in mind, the reason for starting from here, the thing to keep in mind is that these numbers here, the lot numbers in the leftmost column, they are you cling on to those for dear life throughout the valuation revision process. Once the valuation was published, those lot numbers were set in stone. Okay, And immediately I say that, there are all sorts of exceptions come to mind. If sometimes lots were amalgamated, sometimes lots, the renumbering was, if there was a big upheaval in the townland, the thing would be renumbered. But the point is that it was very explicitly done. So if there is a change, it will be in the record. So this is your starting point. And in the vast majority of cases, this stays constant right up into the 1980s, 1990s. So you hold on to that. So number 19, Carrickastickin, that's the one we want. All right, so the revisions. I'm going to go to the Public Record Office of Northern Ireland online. Here we are. To their valuation revision books. And there we are. Okay, Prony is a wonderful site, but they do seem to like you to jump through a certain number of hoops before you get to where you want to go. So here, very conveniently, Carrickastickin. They've digitized it by place name because the valuation refers to the place name, but the place names stay constant. So you search under Carrickastickin, and this is what you see. There are 4 revision books. Now, the good news is they're all online. I'm going to go into them and show you how they work and show you what happened to Owen Carroll here on holding number 19 over the years. The bad news is that they end in 1929. The local taxation system changed in Northern Ireland after partition, 1921. And so they don't come right up to the present day the way, or as close to the present day as the Southern valuation books do, but they work in the same way. So the principle is the same, so you get the idea of how they work. Okay, you click on the link, the Prony reference there, and you're taken to an image of the first valuation book. And they very helpfully have it here up at the top. They tell you the years it covers, 1862 to 1882. And what you need to go to is the index image. The index image is the front page of the revision book, and it's a table of contents. It tells you on what page which townland is. Okay, so Carrickastickin is on page 90. And again, very helpfully, you can jump forward 10 pages. The pages are numbered by opening. So this is all page 18, even though there are 2 openings, there are 2 pages there. So we just keep on trucking until we get to page 87, and then 88. You can see there up in the top right-hand corner. Next, 89, and there's Carrickastickin right where it should be. Okay, and again, the leftmost column, the numbers here. So we go next until we get to number 19, and there's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Owen Carroll. So Owen Carroll was still there in 1882. Okay, you can see the valuation changed in 1870. These little colored pencil markings in the margin tell you when there was a change made to the record. So 1878 there, 78, what happened there? Okay, Owen Casey was replaced by James McShane. And you can see immediately why this might be useful circumstantial evidence. Is there a relationship? Was James McShane a son-in-law or a cousin? Okay, but you have prima facie evidence of something happening in 1878. Okay, nothing has happened to the bold Owen on number 19. So we'll move on to the next book after 1882. And again, Prony very helpfully have them linked beside each other here. So B is from 1883 to 1900. And again, the same process, the index page. Carrickastickin at this point is on page 125. Maybe I should have planned this a bit better. Away we go 10 at a time. 80, 79, 89, 99, 109. There we go, Carrickastickin. We are in Carrickastickin. And we have managed to land on the right page, 17, 18, 19. And here you see Owen Carroll is changed. There's a line drawn through him. And above that, that's Anne Carroll. And there's a line drawn through Anne as well. And Bernard is written in. when did all this happen? Over here in the margin, you can see Anne, 1888, 1889, and 1890. All right, and as well as which the valuation has changed in 1890 as well. I interpret this to mean that it's good circumstantial evidence that Owen died, his widow Anne took over, and then their son Bernard took over. It's, you need to confirm all of this from the records, but you can see you're immediately getting, you're coming forward in time. You're following the family forward. Okay, let's see what happened in the next of the valuation books. This is C, 1900 to 1913. The index image, Carrickastickin 1, hallelujah, it's on the first page. So there we go, Carrickastickin, there we go. And again, the numbers in the left-hand margin. And we want to go on to number 19 again. Where are we there? 11, no, next again. This is very similar to the process. If you actually go in and handle the books physically, you're doing an awful lot of these toing and froings. Okay, and there you have number 19. And Burned, B-E-R-N, and an apostrophe D, so an abbreviation for Bernard. Bernard is there, 1900 to 1919, no change. And you can see around him his neighbors changing, changes happening in 1906, 1902, people coming, people going. All right, so if you're interested in local history, these are wonderful resources as well. They give you a multidimensional view of the history of the townland. And the final one, the final one is 1913 to 1929. Again, the index image, the first page. Carrickastickin is on page 1. So here we go. Next image, next image. Okay, what have we got there? We have 19. Okay, 17, 18, 19. Again, no change in Bernard Carroll, except that it's now recorded as in fee. So whereas you have a lessor, so for example, Jane Jackson is leasing her land, her house and small garden from William Smith. By this period, Bernard owns the land. It's in fee. And that little rubber stamp you see there, LAP, stands for Land Annuity Purchase. This was a subsidized, government subsidized buyout. Smallholders could basically purchase the holding they were on. And you can see at this stage, what is it? It's 7 acres or 9 acres. I'm not sure there. But this is a very small holding. But he could buy it out. And they were structured so that you would end up paying more or less what you'd been paying in rent. And the idea being that this was an offer you couldn't refuse. You were now the legal owner. You were paying the same amount, but you weren't. It wasn't going into the landlord's pocket. It was going into the government's pocket, and they had bought out the landlord for you. The downside was that the repayments went on forever and ever and ever. These were 40, 50, 60-year mortgages in effect. Anyway, it made a huge difference to Ireland. And when did Bernard do it? 1919. You can see there, okay, the colour for in fee is 1919. So that tells you when he bought it out. There are Land Commission records in the Public Record Office in Northern Ireland as well. So you may actually be able to get hold of the original purchase document for him. As I say, the good news is that these are online. The bad news is that they end in 1929. Okay, so you know that Bernard Carroll was there in 1929. You know he's in Carrickastickin. At this stage, you can go. You can also go and, for example, have a look at the Carrickastickin. Okay, is there a Carroll there? C-A-R-R-O-L-L. No Carrolls. Oh dear God, what's gone wrong? Let's search the census, 1901. Let's look for Carrickastickin. Anybody called Bernard? Beornard. And oh, look, there's a Bernard Carroll. Okay, if you're not finding what you expect, come at it another way. This is a mistranscription, absolutely no doubt. These are the family. Here they are. Bernard, he's 40, married, farmer, born in County Armagh. Here are all the children. So you're coming forward from seeing Owen Carroll originally, and you can see his eldest son is called Owen, which is a classic Irish naming practice. You have enough information here to expand all of these people. You have enough information to go back into the will calendars on the Peroni website, see if you can find a will for Bernard Carroll. You can go into the local newspapers, see if you can find a death record. So he was there in 1929. 1929, he would have been 68. So you know, life expectancy in the 1930s wasn't great. He probably died sometime in the 1930s. There are gravestone transcripts, excellent gravestone transcripts for Northern Ireland. So you have, once you've used the valuation books to establish this, you have a whole plethora of threads that you can just keep pulling until the whole family unravels in your hands. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I think that's enough to absorb for a single session. I'll do another session where I go through the other reverse genealogy sources, again, doing the kind of examples that I've done now. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found it useful. Happy hunting.